Hello YouTube, I'm Sam's Trades Forex. I'm an Aussie surfer boy at heart, currently living between southern Spain and Germany. I'm a six-figure profitable funded trader. Today I'm going to give you a brief overview of the strategy I use, the theory behind it, and then I'm going to jump into the charts and backtest a week worth of data on Euro USD. If you're already in the FTR group or in my free Telegram group, if not, the links are going to be in the description below. You will see week after week I'm able to accurately predict market movements and identify and take profitable setups. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video so you can learn exactly how you can do the same. Okay, so let's jump in the charts and let's get to it. So we're just going to cover in and jump over the charts and show you a quick basic theory of the setups we're looking for and how we get our high time frame basis buys. So as you'll see here, we jump over the chart. Here we've got a downtrend and just reverse them for the other directions, but they're exactly the same type of setups. And what we're using for a high time frame bias is the H4. So essentially what we're seeing is we've got multiple breakers of structure on the H4 to the downside, and what they're producing is H4 order blocks or H4 points of interest that we're essentially waiting for price to come back into so we can trade out of them to, continue this downtrend on the H4. And it's as easy as it. And we're trying to get in on the 15-minute to get nice sniper entries and potentially enter on the way up and the way down between these areas. We've got the next condition where we've got a downtrend moving down, but we've now got a H4 chock, a H4 change of structure. So what's happened is the last high that led to the H4 boss has now been closed above with a body break on the 4-hour. So we're now in this area of a potential trend reversal on the H4. So we've got possibilities. What we've got are old unmitigated H4 points of interest or order blocks that are sitting up here that we can potentially still look for trades out of on the M15 to potentially trade the pullback into this new H4 bullish demand to then potentially look at the trend changing occurring. And that's what I'm going to cover in the next one. So what we've got pretty much that setup that I talked about. There's your H4 order block or POI. It's rejected the market. We've maybe been able to get into a short on the 15-minute. We've then taken our shorts down to this new H4 demand, H4 POI, H4 order block. They're all kind of interchangeable for me, where we had lots of buying pressure, strong areas of interest that we can see the bigger players have gotten to the market. We're looking for our entries on the smaller time frame on the M15 to get nice big R&R, nice sniper entries, and we're riding that up in the anticipation of a trend change here to get a new boss. After this, we just switch into an uptrend and we're anticipating the trend continuing and trading it as such. What we also know can occur is that the chocks can be rejected. This is what we really teach people in FTR to really be aware of, that a change of character doesn't guarantee a trend reversal, okay? And we have to understand that there's still a possibility that this price is just coming up here to take liquidity from the market to then, fill the bigger players' orders using these, stop losses or, money that's stacked over here, expecting the trend to come down. So we're looking to still possibly get in these shorts here to then at least ride it down to the new H4 point of interest. If this fails, obviously we can continue to trade it down. We've now got a H4 change of character again in the down direction, and we're continuing the downtrend and trade it as such. You're back here. In my opinion, this is really the basis of the strategy. Obviously, there's more intricate stuff like, selecting your H4 points of interest and your OB selection on the M15, which, you'll get to see me do that over on the backtesting. But this is really your bread and butter here, the type of setups you're looking for, and you'll see me marking them out as we go. So let's jump over, get to the live charts and start this backtesting. Now we're on the live charts. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my top-down analysis. I like to start on the weekly. There's a few things I teach the guys in the group. So along with the H4 points of interest for reversals and taking trades out of, I also have a couple of ideas that I use as well in terms of the weekly rebalances. So essentially we have imbalance here, which is signified by a gap between the wicks of the first candle and the wicks of the third candle. So you need 3 candles to make imbalances. I've got it highlighted using an indicator here, which I highly recommend you do because it's super easy to identify. You don't have to look hard at all. So that's an area I really like. We'll mark that up on the weekly. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't really use much else for the weekly. Let's go to the daily now. Okay, what we'll do on the daily as well, mark our daily rebalance level. Okay, so the daily is something that I'm actually a bit more interested for the 50% because I know it often gets reactions as well. So pretty much that 50% of the imbalance, you can see the 50% line, and the rebalance level, which is the full. Obviously we've got this down here, but I like to keep it as relevant as possible. Honestly, you can mark up structure if you'd like. I don't actually use the daily structure so much, so I'm going to keep that on the 4 hour. Perfect. That's pretty simple already. Jump on the 4 hour now. This is where we start having to look at structure. We want to have a look at our Boston chocks. We want to identify where the market is at this point. So sometimes we're going to have to work backwards a little bit to get to the area that we want to be, so we can see this is a big movement up. We have break of structure there. So let's look here. Okay, we have a break of structure with a wick. We have a chock with a wick. So for us in FTR, chock with a wick is just a failed chock. We don't count it. We need a chock with a body because we're looking for momentum. Chocks with wicks often can be liquidity sweeps, liquidity grabs before big moves. What we're going to do, we've got a 4 hour boss with body, working our way up. Here we had a 4 hour boss with wick. We had a minor pullback here, and so that would be our chock level at this point. And we did have a chock with body there. Working our way down, just inside bar. Go. So we did have a boss with wick here. We did have a slight, lower up, higher high, higher low there. This moves our chock line here. I think we just got a chock with body there, right on the edge. Then a boss with body. Okay, so it's good to go work your way back. Okay, no pullbacks yet. Okay, we had a pullback here. We've got a new boss with wick. So you're going to have to do this maybe a little bit back if you're searching a new pair or just trying this out. Okay, we had a pullback here, lower low, lower high. Nice, signifies a nice pullback. And we have a boss with body again. Okay, here we just have an inside bar, no lower low here. So we don't actually have a pullback. Our chock line is still here, and we have had a chock with body on the H4, which means H4 is potentially breaking this uptrend. Now looking for a trend reversal like we talked about. Where's the highest point between the chock line and the break? It's up here. So that would be our current chock line, and our unconfirmed boss line is up here. We need a boss line will be confirmed once we get an official pullback, creating a higher low and higher high on the candle. So we will leave that off for now. So this is 30th of November. What we now want to do is identify our H4 POIs that may be relevant to us. Let's have a look. We have this nice consolidation with a big move down, creating chock. Nice amount of 4 hour imbalance here as well. Okay, we've also got the extreme potentially. Still a tiny bit of imbalance here, which I like to use for identifying H4 POIs. And it's part of the leg that caused chock. Anything over here? We could be tapping into this old one. However, it's reasonably mitigated. Not fully. We call around 50%, but we'll still leave that one up. This old one as well. That wasn't fully mitigated either. So we've got a few stacked here. So it'll be interesting. So we're chocking down. What we're going to do is we're going to go on the 15-minute. Oh, actually, there's a nice consolidation candle here. It's not quite a traditional one, but you can see we have imbalance above, imbalance below, sort of an indecision candle here. Means a consolidation of 4 hour. There's price trading here for 4 hours before making an impulsive move down. So there's potential if we find a nice entry on the M15, we could be trading out of that. What we're kind of looking for here at the moment, maybe we get a reversal on the 15. Then we can trade it up into this area, then trade it down, potential reversal, and then pretty much like that until we get a 4 hour chock to switch it. So that's pretty much what we need. Obviously, everything else is very far down, so we're not going to go crazy there and mark up everything. Just things in the, very close by here. Let's go on the 15 now. Okay, let's run just the most recent. We had a 15 break of structure here with a body break, a wick break. Gets very, the 15 can get quite tight together. So we just have to know where we're looking for price to react from. And we're looking for price, like I said, to get some sort of maybe possible reversal pattern here. If we can get in a trade, to trade it up into likely this area to come down. So realistically, you can mark up all the structure if you like, just to have an idea of what's going on. I talked to some of the guys in FTR about, okay, we get like a chock up like this, but then when we have a chock straight back down. What does that represent? You have to think. And if we're moving into downtrend, we chalk up and then price reverses straight back down to give you a chalk back down. Then you have to think it was essentially just a manipulation to collect liquidity from this high and this high to fill orders to then push the market in the direction that the big players want it to go. And so we have to think, okay, where did that originate? Where did the big players get into the market? It was up at this point where the manipulation occurred. That looks like a really nice 15-minute order block to get into the market if it possibly comes back here, because what we have on our side is the H4 points of interest. We have the H4 chalk on our side. Got a very nice big manipulation candle which took liquidity from the market, which you can sort of identify from a chalk to chalk. Those sorts of things, you can start telling a story like that for your OB selection. Let's just run it down, because what we might do, might look for a chalk in this area if we can get long. Okay, so right now, so M15 chalk and the M15 boss. Okay, pretty much at the end of day of 30th of November. Honestly, for me, 15's downtrending. We're in a old 15-minute point of interest here. So we're looking for reversals potentially to trade up into here to look for continuations. Okay, so what we can do, I really like this order block, to be honest with you. You can even mark out if you like. Okay, so there would have been nice liquidity above this level. Whatever helps you, put it together. Okay, we've taken liquidity. Huge big wick high, big momentum candle. There's still imbalance, present in these areas. What I'm actually going to try to do today, because the trading view isn't so amazing for backtesting, there's some indicator that has been created that shows you the high time frame candles. I've never really used it before, but I think instead of having to switch between the time frames and potentially reveal something that I don't really want to see, I'm going to see if I can use this to my advantage to not do that potentially. So I'll look at the hourlies. I'm going to monitor the 4 hours as well for the imbalances. Looks like here we've got a nice 4-hour imbalance. You can see printed here. These are just the candles showing the other time frame. You can see it up here, and this is the daily as well. We've got a huge momentum candle on the daily from the 3rd of November, so it'll be interesting. Personally, I would look at a trade like this. Let me see. Looking for three. So let's go up to the 50%. I play around with the 45 and the 50. You can obviously backtest. It depends on your brokers. Okay, so that would be the first one, 4.8. Let's see. What I'll do is I'm going to play it through till Frankfurt Open, which is when I start to trade, 8 a.m. Central Eastern Europe times. So it'll be 7 a.m. anyone in the UK, and then anyone else should just figure it out. It's an hour. It's the hour before London Open. It's where the German market's open. I really like it. It can offer quite good trades, quite good setup. So definitely something to be aware of. And then I'm trading until anywhere between 5 and 7. I'll skip through to my opening time. Okay, cool. We are now on 7:45, hourly, 4 hour and daily. Okay, so we do have, it's pretty cool. It prints this like imbalance as well. So we got H4 imbalance there, which is awesome. Really good for, that's this. You can see it comes across. So this is still valid in my opinion. I'm going to go with a 50%. That would be the 4-hour low, actually. It's kind of cool. We don't have to look back. So I can see that we started having a pullback. That's this high here. This is the leg down. We've started the pullback. So this is the boss level. So this is where I'm targeting for this, like I talked about at the start. Let's play that through. We do have a chalk here. Let's talk about that for a second. Out of a H4 point of interest. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, that's actually what we've rejected from here. So it's always good to look. That's quite a nice, you can see we had a flat top candle here. Often when price moves fast, then it's been swept and mitigated. And then we've had push down with a body break. Okay, so, and if we run up this, we had a 15 here, body break. We've actually had a chalk here. Okay, this is why we need to pay attention. I was getting a bit too excited about all these candles over here because we've now actually filled the imbalance. We're tapped into the H4 and we've gotten a chalk. So essentially this is a double confirmation out of a really nice order block here. Okay, so this would be the new order block, like a confirmation order block on the M15. Okay, it's been mitigated in Asia, which does make me a little bit nervous that we might run the highs. At this point, I probably would like market enter because we're inside of it. But for safety, what I would do, I would go off the 25 or where it is right now, essentially on the open. I'm going to cover the original OB high because we've got kind of equal highs forming, but we did have the chock out of it and it's been mitigated. But, you know, we could easily get a little push up, a little sweep before we get it down and still respect this New York order block. I'm going to save this for later or delete it because now I'm seeing, you know, we've tapped in the H4, we've filled the H4 imbalance. We have a really nice M15 order block here that we've gotten shock out of. And we've got still the opportunity to get in. So let's have a look. We'll go to 5.2 and the target is 5.8. This would be pretty nice. Let's see if we might if we start trading up, this is my next. This is definitely super nice still. But yeah, I only just noticed that when we had the chock. This is why it can be good to make sure you're marking out your M15 structure. That would be our chock, and this is our boss. Oh wow, look at that. So we did have actually an internal sweep here, but we didn't get the high. But for me, I'm happy, you know, because this is the original OB. It's kind of what I'm trading out. Asian session, you know, obviously does get respected, but it can be a little bit more fickle. So, you know, if your idea is this OB, respect it, cover that high, you know, okay, we could have got a tighter entry, but I'd rather, you know, get the R than the loss. We actually have a new, also could play. I don't think I would like take this just yet as a, you know, scale in. It's potential, but, you know, the entry is very close to the original entry. So it's kind of doubling your risk. If you were going to scale in, you'd want to use much less risk here, but it's perfectly valid. We're now following order flow on the M15 to target eventually this. Okay, it looks like it's coming down rather quick. Guess we have had a little boss with wick. However, I'm not really looking for, even though we could get a chock, I'm not looking for reversals now. The reversal area was here overnight. We had the chock, price worked its way up to our H4 POI to work its way back down. Okay, so we don't want to get caught up looking for reversals where their probabilities are low of this. You can see how the H4 here, we had the H4 push down, create imbalance. We've now actually got imbalance formed on the hourly, which is pretty awesome. I can just pull that across. Oh, this is actually really cool. Cool. Mark that out. So we've got a break with wick here. I'm not that interested to take this follow-on candle here, even though it could be a potential option to get a continuation trade or a scale in. However, I know my back test, the H1 imbalance, your stop loss being in H1 imbalance lowers the probability. Test that yourself. That's your own, for your own research type of thing. That's what I've found, and that's mainly on USD. So if you trade something else, it's going to be a little bit different. But that would be why I haven't taken this scale in. Oops. Okay. Let's see, maybe we get this other would be filled. So look at that. Does get the chock up. This is why we really have to, think about where, when you're marking out your 15-minute structure, you have to think about where is this occurring. Okay, we get a chock here. We're not interested in taking a reversal because it doesn't make sense. We've already had the pullback into the H4. We're just sitting in an F15 range. We're not looking for chocks. This was just a liquidity sweep to, tap into the H1 imbalance. Like I said, it can lower the probabilities. which is actually kind of nice. It just showed you perfectly there. And we're looking to, potentially continue the move back down. There we go. Okay, interesting. Played out of this. Nice little liquidity sweep. Could have almost been a setup. Maybe it would be a bit of a miss here. We did only get a chocolate wick here, but we're downtrending. Essentially, this is just a liquidity sweep at this point. Pull liquidity from this high, fill some of the imbalance. We didn't quite get our fill on this top order, and we've got respected this area. Anyway, I won't mark it up just for data collection. But so we've hit our target here. We've got a 5.75. This is actually a new area of interest here. M15 OB. We've got a H4 boss here with body. This is really cool. I can just see it. We can see that was a H4 low, and we've got the body close, which would mean we have our H4 POI. Here, let's bring that across. Perfect. This is really cool that we can do that. And I don't have to switch between the time frames. Okay, so now we've actually got this. Actually, could still be a play. But this most recent one, London session, caused a break on the M15. Kind of have to think, might have to play out a few more candles. But I would say we probably need to take it over the 50 because, that's our low we're targeting. We're now running out of our H4 range. Okay, we've got another M15 break here. We didn't have any liquidity. We've just got imbalance above it. A lot of imbalance. Here we've taken out some highs here with this candle. Caused the break of structure. This OB here for me just doesn't, it looks like it's going to be used as liquidity as well, especially with the session open here, unless we do melt all the way down. What do we have here? Ooh, Fed shower power. Well, I wouldn't be trading when this is 5 p.m. So let's see if we get tagged into before that. This is our H4 high. So our H4 chock level. Okay, we can keep moving this down. I'm interested. Looks like, okay, so we've just taken the low of this H4 point of interest. So let's bring it over. That one's been cleared. We've now tapping into a new one. Okay, so there's probably a fair bit of liquidity at this low. Probably ready to fuel with a move up from the news. Doesn't look like we're probably going to get entered into this before the news. And I don't trade the Fed's speeches. That's the thing. At the moment as well, instead of having hard targets, if I'm trading pro trend, I leave my stop loss a little bit open. I'll trail it down. I'll watch what price is doing at these breaks to see if we get continuations, because often you can trade these down and you never know what the market's going to give you. As beginners, you really want to have hard targets, but as you get more experience with the trading, this is running 13R now. We'll leave it there because it's really good to have set targets, especially when you're starting to learn. Okay, the first bit of news, whenever it's reacting out of little order block here. But yeah, we've now taken H4 liquidity, old H4 liquidity. We're trading pretty far deep here. This was our last body. So that would be our M15 chock. But we have our H4 point of interest right there. So doesn't really make a lot of sense because we're looking to trade back into this area. So okay, we've just got another boss down. Boss of body, so we move our chock line down. I'm interested in chocks now because we're in a new 4-hour point of interest. So let's see, what do we got? Okay, not a huge, well, it's a pretty big candle, pretty big reversal candle to be honest. Let's see what we have up here. Got a H4 point of interest. I've actually got some H1 imbalance here. We're not looking to take any shorts at this point. We've got the news playing out, and the speech can go for like an hour, so I'll probably finish up our day, I would say, very soon. And we've got a chock here out of a H4 POI. Let's mark up our order block. Ideally what we want here, price to come back down, tag us in, and we ride it up to here. I actually like this one again. Let's see, what are we at? I'll play out the next few candles. Okay, so we didn't get long. This is actually, now we can see, that's the new H4 boss level. It's really nice to have these candles here, see what's going on. That's going to be our target. Hourly's looking pretty strong, but we've made our retracement, okay? There's potential, maybe we get the reversal here and it goes up higher, and you know, we've got these old areas that we're looking for, but we really want to, that's for later. We want to have a look at the current here, our current 4 hour push up, breakdown, new H4, breakdown. That's what we're looking for, continuations. Here, I'm not really interested in longs out of here anymore, because why we trade these reversals is we're trying to trade the pullback. You know, I'm trying to trade this pullback into my H4 points of interest to go down again. If it's already retraced there, there's no R&R in it for me. So I either have to wait for a H4 chock and then potentially this comes valid again, or I'm more focused on continuing the trend. So, okay, it looks like the day's pretty much done. I think it would have just been tagged, just. Obviously the spreads on TradingView, I use forex.com just because it has the cleanest feed. But obviously on IC Markets for personal account and or FTMO for the funded account, it can be quite different. So it's generally you want to be a little bit more lenient, you know, 45, 40, just to be able to get in there, especially if you're going to refine that much. I know Paul, he does a 25 no matter what. I play around with it if we have like a order block bigger than 10 pips. And we're into a new day, actually. Let's have a look while we have time. This is what we want to do. This is actually really cool, and then means I won't reveal anything. What I'll just do. So then I can actually mark up the daily. I don't know if this is like let me know if this is too confusing for the new guys. But for me, it's actually like really good, because with TradingView, if a candle is open, it will just show the whole candle. You know, so here it's showing a little bit of the daily. If I went to the daily, it would show the whole daily. Whereas here, I don't have to go back out. I can just, you know, see what happened, look at the imbalances, what I'm looking for these different time frames type of thing. I think it's quite cool. So we'd be in this. We're trying to trade it to the H4 boss. This isn't interesting for us unless we get a H4 chock up. The plays already happened. The pullback's done. Now we're going pro trend. What I'll do quickly, I'll mark out the 15 structure. Chock with wick. Boss with body. This is still a chock. This is the chock line here. So we haven't got a confirmation trade yet. Well, that's the first 15 minutes of, that would have been a chock with wick. What happens with the chock with wick is the chock line just moves down to the wick that tried to attempt to break it, and that's where we have to break. And then we have the chock with body. And then we refer back to the original chock line for the high. 15 chock level. You know, mark it out. We're not really interested in it, are we? This kind of got mitigated. That got equal highs here. There's OB here. Doesn't look that strong. For continuation, I guess, is this 25% mitigated on the M15? Let me have a look. Not quite. I guess I would still kind of be interested in this one if it was to come back up, unless we form other, you know, something like push up, tag, collection, go. That's what I think. What do we got here? Nice little, it's been tested already, the H1 balance, so not that interested. And I'm not interested in there. We got equal highs, all this imbalance above. We might not get a chance to get in again. Okay, maybe not. Just getting some reaction up. So I'll show a bit more of this. Or we might just get smashed out and it keeps going higher. Maybe this would. It didn't actually tag into it, so that'll be interesting. Okay, so we've gotten this sweep here. We can either push up or maybe we can get a confirmation trade, but it looks like it's pretty bullish right now. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Alright. Yeah, and that's left a really nice order. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So this is a bit of internal structure. It's really the only time I use internal structure. So I'd call this maybe like internal chalk, because when I use internal structure, it is always with the pro trend. You know, something to give me opportunities to get in that's not with external structure. So the external low is here. This would be my 15 boss level. However, what we've had is we've taken out these equal highs. H4's down, M15's down. We've now had this internal, pullback here, which we've then taken liquidity, pushed down and broke the internal low. We haven't even broken the external low, so we could still come, and that's even more, that's even more lovely. It's really strong. But at this point for me, this is already valid. 7.88. What was this in the end? 9.4. Crazy. Okay, it's pushing back up. We might not get a chance. Okay. We might just be getting wrecked. Okay. These are the candles into OVs that scare me. I don't know why. Just some big bullish candle in there. Just think that continuation is going to go. So, okay. That was actually unexpected. Maybe it's not over. But I'm always more confident with the pro trend trades. These types of, when you get momentum like that in a counter trend trade, it normally ends up in a stop loss because you're just taking it in the wrong place essentially, or the probabilities are playing out. We're retesting it quite a bit of times. Always makes me nervous as well when we change sessions, because I know New York can come, easily. We've just created some almost semi-equal highs here. Easy for New York to, boom, clean that up and then we go. But it's quite interesting that if this does push down now, we've now got like kind of triple equal highs. Okay. Yeah, so we've kind of got triple highs here. They're not equal, but it's sort of this like slanted, I don't know, people call it trend line liquidity or whatever. Just like really clustered. We got stop losses here, we got stop losses here, we got stop losses here. Probably still stop losses here. So like, even though this seems pretty nice, let's see, if we take out the low of this H4, that could mean, there's just so much. Look at this actually, if we pull this across, it's a lot of trendline liquidity. Alright, we'll see. Maybe we could get a reversal, one thing at a time. Pushing pretty hard, let's move this across. That's now cleared that. It looks like it's going to be a wick close anyway, but we've got a boss either way. I guess this is kind of like the H4 POI here. All the rest is super clustered. This is where I might need to jump out of the 4 hour quickly. I think my 4 hour closes at 3 o'clock. So I'm just going to remove this. I don't want to reveal anything. So I think that's 2:45. So that H4 would have closed. And let's see. Okay, so we had the push up here, another push up here, wick, wick, wick. Okay, so we know we pushed down. This kind of has to be the whole 4 hour area. It's kind of huge. But I'm looking for, when we actually close out of it. So I'll give you an again. Let's skip the 4 hour once. Yeah. Okay, so we did close with body. H4 boss's body. I'm not looking on the 15. It hasn't really revealed anything. We know this is happening. What I'm going to explain to you, why this would be the whole H4 POI. Because what we're looking at is when we have a push up, we're looking for the reversal. So we had a wick high here on this candle. That was a high put in. Okay, so then we're looking for a body break, of this. And we just get a wick break. And we're looking for a body break of that, and that's where the body break comes. So this is sort of where the breakout happens. So all this consolidation beforehand is a multi-candle consolidation before the breakdown. I've got a few detailed explanations of that in FTR, and I may make a video on it later. But yeah, just to understand why this would be a multi-candle point of interest in this instance. Let's pull these ones that aren't mitigated across. Daily rebalance up here. Got like this little fractal H4 consolidation, very weak, but there's nothing else in between until we get to the 50% in the day, weekly. So I'll mark that up for now and go back to the 15. Okay, so it's given us hourly here. This is the hourly chart here. Let's pull this across. H1 imbalance. So my eyes, I'm not interested in this this M15 OB. Obviously late in NY session, I'm going to trade anyway. This is seeming a little bit better. I think I'll take it. Delete that. I think the chalk line has moved down here now. I know it has, not think. This is the old H4 point of interest. This is unmitigated, but it doesn't look so strong. Kind of all clustered highs here as well. Well, it could be in for a pretty swift move up. Just when there's just nothing that's cleaned itself up. Euro is just like manufacturing highs here. Maybe there's like some big news coming. Not really. Sometimes like you get like NFP or interest rates are boof, that type of crazy stuff. So kind of like this extreme one that's not fully mitigated. More than this one. This has just got these triple highs. Am I looking for chalk? I guess that would mean we've reclaimed this H4. Be a pretty aggressive chalk. But a lot of liquidity above us. Quite a profitable trade. Extreme. More imbalance here, but maybe that's enough. Big push. Yeah, let's see. I like the idea of it. H4 OB, not mitigated. Mitigated is 25% or more. It's not super ideal because it was kind of put in Sydney session, but it did take liquidity from from New York. This is, if we didn't have triple highs here, this would have been lovely if we took out those London highs and then dumped. Oh, that would have been like, perfect high probability order block. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to hold, but just, so you understand what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's go over the results for the first 4 days of backtesting. I'm splitting this into 2 parts just because it's really long and I don't want you guys to fall asleep. So we'll do the first 4 days and the last 4 days because it's around 8 days. I think I do a little over a week. So what we have here is 3 trades, 0 losses, 3 wins. So that's pretty awesome. Quite easy trading. We're just following down the 4 hours that's going down with, literally taking pro trend trades, follow the 15 down. So the first one got inside a nice 15-minute order block when H4 is chopped down. And we took that to the H4 boss line. Next one, exactly the same. After the boss, we had our pullback. Really nice 15-minute order block inside of our H4 POI. Take that down to the next H4 boss line. We were able to get a confirmation trade within this as well. So we had a nice sweep of liquidity through these equal highs in Asia session. Then we had an internal chalk down, able to get in here on a confirmation trade as we're moving down to target the boss of the H4. So what we had here, let's just round it down, 5, 9, and 7. So we had 14, 21R in 3 days. That is very nice indeed. So let's just see how we go for the next week. But stick around, part 2 is coming out later in this week. If you really enjoyed this content and you want to learn more, I'm going to be releasing hopefully two videos every week going forward from this year. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see, other pairs, more detail into the exact strategy at hand, and let me know if you liked it. That would be really awesome to hear. And yeah, so hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video, and yeah, see you next time.